Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, the whole world was basically brought to a collapse as of today. Now, as you guys may or may not have a chance to go and see, and I feel like it'd just be kind of a fun video to go talk about, to kind of highlight and showcase and how bad the situation actually was. CrowdStrike, one of the more kind of very popular programs, applications that are basically used on PCs everywhere, millions of computers throughout the entire planet, completely bugged, got yoinked up, and everything went horrible as of today, due to the fact of like an kind of somewhat unpatched slash verified update when it came to the software itself, brought a lot of PCs to be in a perpetual blue screen of rebooting and then never having a chance to actually boot the system itself and getting destroyed. And now, of course, an unusual technical issue, say it's for Xbox or Microsoft, you could usually go and fix things relatively quickly. A lot of people, and God bless the people in the IT or tech departments, can usually go and fine tune and fix this up relatively quickly. But this got really bad really quick, and the entire world actually was taken on out. So we're going to go talk about this, talk about the drama, and I want to know if you guys had your gaming consoles taken out, other online resources taken out, planes, trains, or automobiles being destroyed all throughout today, or any other random mishap. Leave a comment down below. So thankfully, I do think a lot of these things are getting resolved and worked towards, which is good. But there is still a lot of lingering effects, and a lot of computers are still having issues, and people that are working IT are hopefully getting some free PTO time off, and ideally not one to go and rip out all of their hair. So subscribe and leave a like down below. So basically, if you guys don't know, CrowdStrike is, for lack of better terms, like an encryption software. So let's go and say you work for the government. You have a bunch of government computers, government assets, and as you go and you have that, you go and you have that encrypted when it comes to launching things or keeping things, like server safe, data safe, whatever. Really roughly trying to explain it. And the idea behind this is that it's a wide known, international program, and everyone throughout the entire world is utilizing it. And that's, I think, one big small issue is that when every single person and a lot of big companies are utilizing it, things get destroyed. Now, Xbox was also involved with Microsoft, and there was a lot of big issues in terms of gaming and also for the Azure web hosting. But right now, things are rough. To the point to go and kind of you guys and stress this on how rough it is. Right now, pretty much throughout the entire day, this is kind of a great infographic over here, the entire day they had to go and ground up most transportation systems. So flights across the entire world, not just America, had to go and get grounded. And as of right now, there is still a massive amount of people that are stuck in airports. They're not able to actually go and register or get their next flights. And at the same time, things are very, very backlogged. And so here's a live representation of how these computer systems forced thousands upon thousands of different flights to get grounded all throughout the day. So you guys can kind of see just the usual, people coming and going, flying around everywhere, traveling the world. And then at a certain point, when we realized there was a big issue, had to come to a halt. And this is due to the fact that the computer systems are just not working. Now, as I mentioned, there is a now technical workaround, and a lot of computers are able to kind of get the reboot and move on. And I'm sure millions upon millions of people are working towards fixing these issues. But as I mentioned, the big deal for this one is the fact that things are rough. This is not good. Basically, the idea is that you had to go, and if you guys are somewhat familiar with PCs or computers, you had to go into the, basically the software, imagine the BIOS, and you had to go and essentially remove a certain line of code to let your computer freeboot. So a good example, and this is really basic, I'm not the most IT person, I've built PCs and stuff, but that's nothing on the same level. But basically, just imagine you have a huge stick in a doorway, and you're trying to walk through the doorway. But every single time you take those steps through that stick is going to stop you no matter what, until you just remove the stick, lift the stick up, take the stick out of the doorway, and then you're able to go and free boot, free walk through it, and you're fine. It's not the biggest deal. But the one issue is that some people who are not used to ever having to deal with sticks or never had a chance to even see sticks, I don't know. At that point, they don't know how to move that stick out. And that's kind of what a lot of the issues are, because apparently the fix that's been floating around, and we've been seeing, is that you have to go and, just remove something. So you basically have to go and launch up the actual, basically all the stuff over here. You have to go and, I'll just do the step by step. You just have to go and have the host experiencing this bug and blue screen error related to the Falcon sensor. So this is also not implemented Max, which makes it nice. You have these current file types over here with the timestamp over here. So basically, this is the good version. So people want to look at it and kind of give you guys the rough idea, because I know roughly of this, but not so much. But basically, the issue is that you have to go and basically reboot the system, get rid of these files. So you basically want to go to your Windows system drivers CrowdStrike directory. So basically find the actual source itself. Not that I'm not even sure if any of you guys are using this. I'm sure most people who are involved in IT already have fixed it. You have to go and find this normal file that was like the C0000291 system file. Then delete it. You just had to go and boot basically that same host drive all normally. And as well, you may need to have a proper recovery key for it. But the end of the day is just kind of that stick metaphor. You have a stick, aka this random software that got randomly updated, and then due to the update being broken, booted and destroyed everything, and then just made it in a perpetual loop, or just perpetually walking into that stick and that door frame. So then you just want to go into the door frame itself on the side and then take out the stick, and then you're free to go through it. So this could lead to a few more bigger issues. Because number one, there is a lot of, in terms of IT, and this is where we go and thank all the IT lads, where you sometimes had to go into individualized PCs to fix it. So imagine you have like a remote IT person, or at the same time, let's say you're a bigger business, you have like 1,000 computers. Imagine like a skyscraper, you have 50,000 computers all in a certain small area for a big business, law firm, whatever. And IT, and this is, I don't want to say this is the most intensive thing to do, but it's somewhat relatively intensive, especially sometimes you have to have the actual data center itself first and foremost. So think about the idea. You have like 50 PCs onto one, basically data center. So you go into looking at all of that type of stuff, and they have to actually make sure the data center itself is fine for them to go and transmit information. So first and foremost, that has to be good. And then you may have to go individually into every one of the singular PCs and do the same exact thing, because it's more of like a web hosting internal file that is matching to the PC or a laptop, rather than it being a broad sense thing that you can go and change from a general server. I'm not sure this is my understanding, but my research I saw, because I thought this was crazy, is I believe the understanding for it. So with all that being said, companies were shut down all throughout the day. Flights where people were actually not able to get on flights. People are at the airport. People are still at the airports right now. Same with train systems. A lot of train systems are fully taken off. A lot of businesses fully taken down. And people are still there. I'm in Chicago over here, and I've seen people that I know that are not involved on social media or on the IT sense on Instagram complaining with just many people, many backlogs, and any type of day that has a full basically almost the entire day of transportation things like trucks, trains, or airplanes being taken down. It causes a huge, number one, loss of income, number two, which is big issue overall, and number three, a perpetual backlog. Because don't forget, there are still flights for tomorrow and the next day and the next day that still in theory should be going out. So you still have all these other people who never had a chance to fly today added to that same exact backlog. So pilots that already are sometimes a big shortage are now going to be working overtime, let alone with all the other various applications and programs that were also ongoing. So this was horrible. The entire planet was basically stopped as of today. And this is because two issues. A lot of companies are part of CrowdStrike. A lot of companies are involved with this. And that adds a lot of legitimacy if nothing goes wrong. But this is something that should have never happened. The CEO even went public and apologized and talked about the fact that it's his responsibility. But once again, this was basically just a not fully tested update that updated automatically throughout many different systems in software, and it ruined everything. And like I said, there is millions upon millions of computers that got destroyed. I'm sure there's a lot of things that are still up, not right this second. So if you guys also missed it too, CrowdStrike, their stock got destroyed today. Not as bad as you'd probably expect, but for a $74 billion company, losing 11% of that is not good. So a good rough example is a few days ago, their stock was at $378. Ridiculous. We also have this too as well, that instantaneous market open drop where it just went straight on down. Now, I had a little bit of a bounce back due to the fact of people, I guess, are we're aware of it, whatever, but we'll have to see where the company goes long term. There's a chance for lawsuits, there's a chance for issues, and you can even see some of the pictures over here too as well. People are still waiting. People are still having issues. Here's an example over here when it comes to the actual, sometimes, they just couldn't do anything. Flights were destroyed. Things were broken. And like I said, people were literally stuck inside of things. Same with Xbox. We made a video on Xbox last night, and I think it's more in regards to this than the actual Xbox servers themselves. And it's rough. This was not a good situation, and we're going to be feeling this for the next few weeks, especially. Hopefully, Everyone who's out there in the world will get back soon. Hopefully video games affected will be fine. And if you guys did have any work issues, let me know. But this was a rough one all throughout today. So give me your thoughts and comments. We have a lot more videos all throughout today. And I appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see you guys later on. Make sure you guys leave a like and your thoughts down below.